want to talk about my coaster expectations for Iron Gwazi. Iron Gwazi looks amazing, and I'm so excited to share my expectations. In today's video, we'll talk about where I think it will rank, what I think my overall score will be, and my high expectations for this beast of a coaster made by Rocky Mountain Construction. Okay, so first thing about Iron Gwazi I want to talk about is I think it will be my favorite drop I've ever experienced. And that is saying something, as I've experienced some pretty insane drops. Well, not really, just Mako. Well, this has been the craziest drop, or even Aftershock at Silverwood theme park. Now, I do think this will be my favorite drop, as it will be my first Beyond Vertical drop that I'm sitting at on a regular seat. I believe Iron Gwazi will at least rank in my top 10. Where exactly do I think it will rank? I think it's a easy number 1 for me. Now, that is being said, I'll be riding some absolutely crazy coasters over in Georgia as well, including Air Force One, Goliath, and for Goliath, yes, the one in Georgia, not any of the other ones. So, the other thing to note is it could easily take over it won't be my number 1 probably forever, as I have a lot more trips planned after this. This is just for this exact year that I'll be going on. I think it will beat all of the main Florida coasters, including Icebreaker, Velocicoaster, which is my current number 1, and I think it has the highest potential. This will also be the first coaster that I go on, that's an RMC conversion. And what a unique one at most. This will also probably be the most intense coaster I've ever ridden. That right now goes to either Aftershock or Hulk. Now, the other thing to mention is I do think the death roll has a chance to beat the Mosasaurus roll. The Mosasaurus roll is one of my favorite elements ever, and it's the most demonic element I've ever ridden. Spoilers if you haven't watched my top 10 most demonic elements video. I do think the stall looks extremely weak, as as I've heard, it doesn't offer any hang time, or very minimal at most. But I think the wave turn under the chain lift and the amazing airtime moment, or aka the death roll, well, I've heard it offers some airtime, but I think that could be one of the highlights of this ride, as it's been the highlight for most people, including that that wave turn under the chain lift. Now, the other thing to notice is this coaster looks like an amazing amazing coaster to take photos of. So, I'm excited for that. But back to the ride experience. I think it will be one of the most unique, insane coasters I've ever ridden, with a bunch of different elements, including a few wave turns and more. This coaster is more of its intensity base, and the GP seem to even kind of not like it as much, as it doesn't get the longest waits as of what I've seen. This doesn't, of course, mean that GP doesn't like it. So, again, I think we'll rank number 1. And my overall ranking for what I think the overall score for this ride will be is a perfect 10 out of 10. Now, of course, this is not me making a full review or trying to review this. This is just my expectations for this coaster. I have high expectations, and I'm hoping I don't get disappointed. I had high expectations for Velocicoaster, which I do wish I made a coaster expectations video on, but I had extremely high expectations for that coaster, and wow, did Velocicoaster live up to the hype. So, I'm so excited to ride Iron Gwazi in 2022. Comment down below your thoughts and your opinions on this coaster, and roll into the outro. Hey guys, it's Coaster Roll. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. Comment down below your thoughts on Iron Gwazi and your expectations if you're riding it soon. Now, the other thing I want to say is I have a lot of videos planned, a new a new documentary coming out about my home park. So, there's so much planned. Please consider subscribing.